Welcome to the Become Sensible podcast, where we discuss practical accounting, finance, and tax for everyday business. I'm your host, Yona, and I'm here to show you that no matter what your business financial situation is, you can change it. Welcome back to Become Sensible, where we talk about not only building a bigger company, but also how to build a better one. And today we're talking with a favorite couple and favorite guests that they are build the business not only like they have a proven way that they can deliver world-class work, but they also the dream client for many people. And now the question is not only like about the scaling the business, but how to view it in the way that not losing the magics. So Rebecca and Yoni Levian are the husband and wife and co-founders of the company called Skye High Interactive, a boutique branding and web design agency that's trusted by some well-known name in the world, so like Mel Robbins, Ajay Sadi, Thompson Fado, and Arthur Brooks. What set them apart, not only like their client list is amazing, but how the way that they build Skye High intentionally lean and deep value driven. They master the balance between both creativity and clear strategy, helping entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, and experts clarify the message and elevate their visual identity and create a huge impact on their business and their growth. So Skye High is known for deliver high big company agency quality with a very small team hearted combine premium design, storytelling, and the system that to have the personal find the personal brand to scale with purpose. They done all of this while raising their three kids and running the business together at the same time, which is one of the favorite thing about them. So let's welcome Rebecca and Yoni.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for that
Hi.
introduction.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate
having
that.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just so excited to have the conversation today because you guys like a favorite couple that works as a duo together and build a team and also balance the family and do it all. Seem like to be like do it all together. So the first question is, you build the brand and the website for the name like Mel Robbins and Jay Sadi. And I, to be honest, I actually go to Jay Sadi's website and I was like, it's an odd to see his website. So, but like, take all of us back, how everything was started.
Oof,
Started.
Yeah. It's been about 8-9 years.
So
10 years, maybe even.
I would say officially I started Skye High over 8 years ago, around 8 years ago. But
Yeah, it was just Becca at the time.
Yep. I started it while Yoni, I just quit my job and decided to kind of go freelance. However, I would say that to be fair, like my agency experience started way beyond that. So before that, not beyond that, before that. So it started when I went to college for elementary education. I thought I was going to be a teacher.
Oh my God.
I know, right? And I think that's also really relatable to a lot of people because you don't know necessarily what you want to do when you're 18, 19. I graduated and I was really interested in entrepreneurship and I was really interested in working for a small business. And a lot of that stemmed from my dad, who was an entrepreneur all of his life and still is. And so he was working at Babson and kind of got me in a very small company. And that really started to feed my kind of design passion. And because I needed everything, they needed help with literally everything. And they were like, we don't know how to do anything. And I was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, fully self-taught.
Especially back in the days, there's no AI, there's no Google, there's not much information available online at all.
Especially not as much as it is now, right?
It was like lynda.com. And I was like, I don't want to pay for tutorials. And so I did. I would teach myself and figure it out. And getting agency experience eventually, once I kind of learned enough and was good enough, I kind of talked my way into an agency job. And it's funny, I was thinking about this morning. One of the first jobs that I got, I remember my creative director at the time was like, you are not the best designer that I've interviewed, but I'm going to hire you because you have a drive that is really important. And like, I can see that in you, and I can see the passion, and I can see this desire. And that fire never went out. What the agency world did for me is it really prepared me, taught me how to pitch to big companies, how to talk about my work, how to understand really good design, like good design practices. It taught me about the other roles that are really helpful, not just design, but UX and copy and strategy and writing, and
worked with a bunch of team members to
motion designers. I mean, really, it gave me so much valuable experience that by the time we had a firstborn who was, 6 months at the time, and I wasn't like, oh, I want to build this big agency. That was not the necessarily the plan. It was like, I want to choose who I work with. I want to work more with clients who are either seeking me out, or I'm getting introduced to, or I'm finding, and I want to work with them. And I don't have the time to do that with a full-time job, but I really enjoy this and I want to pursue it more. And I think I can do this and quit my job and like really just kind of pursue freelance. And that's really how it started. And then it's been an evolution. Great.
Yeah.
I feel like relatable to that part as like a woman. Like once you have a kids, you want that flexibility that you have the time with your kids, and you work almost. I probably think the same amount of time.
Yes.
But the agency and autonomy on your time is so important. And one of the reasons I start my own company too.
Yeah. And I was remote at the time. The company was in Seattle, and we had moved from Seattle to Massachusetts. So I was remote, but I was like, I don't want to be on Zoom calls discussing things that I don't really care about, when I'd rather be playing with my baby or doing things that I really want to do. Right. It definitely, having a kid, I think, definitely puts that in perspective, where you're like, you only have so many hours in a day. Like, what do you really want to be doing?
You were also in a great opportunity too, right? Where you did have a full-time job that was remote, and you were able to provide time towards your freelance work, which was kind of like kickstarting that.
Yeah, it was.
And it was helpful for me because I was out of a job at the time and in a big transition, finding work, having moved to Massachusetts. So that was, it was tough. It was a big step once she kind of let go of the full-time job and wanting to go freelance.
Yeah. But like when did you like have the aha moment and you say, okay, now I just like dump all of this and jumping like two hand to go all into your entrepreneurs, like no 9-to-5 job anymore?
Deep down, I feel like you always wanted.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think I always knew. I think I always, working at other agencies, I remember always thinking, wow, this is going to sound really bad, but like, I remember thinking I am more hardworking and talented than a lot of my peers who are probably getting paid more than me. And especially a lot the men, and like, fuck that. Like I don't want to be a part of that. Like I don't. And I also, there were a few things working in agencies, especially our last one, that really kind of like solidified it for me, that I was like, the agency life is not right for me. Because it was very dog eat dog, very much expected to like work late hours. And that was like, that
was like agency life in general.
That was agency life in general. Yeah. And then I was bored working in-house in a creative group with my other full-time job, where it was just not fulfilling.
I like you have like agency work that is long hours, and then you work on your business too, and then you have a young kids too. It's just like
not sustainable. Not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like agency life was great in my 20s.
Yeah.
And then when I was when I had a baby, there was no way that I could have sustained that, nor did I really want to. I think the first big client that I got on my own, though, which was Colette Baron Reed, who's a very big in the kind of medium, intuitive space, spiritual space. Again, I kind of had to pitch that work a little bit. Like I did a few, I think it was like homepage directions to like win the project.
For free, right?
For free, which we've only done twice in our agency, career, all of 8 years with Skye High. And I think that was the first project that really kind of like put me on the map where in that industry, in that space. And it kind of gave me the confidence to be like, I think I can do this. Like, I think I can, if I'm attracting these kinds of clients, then
why can't I?
Why attract more? And why can't I do this full time,
Yeah. But like Yoni is like, I mean, like for you, how do you know whether like you build a business together with Rebecca and why you like decide to pursue it?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Where does it start? I think my early on involvement in the business wasn't actually for the business, but to support Becca. Like I kind of said, I was out of a job. I was in a transition. I became kind of that stay-at-home dad where I was taking care of our kids during the day in order for this kind of to develop. And I was seeking elsewhere. I wanted to kind of go back into production. And there was another goal that I had where I wanted to become a chef and do that.
Oh, really?
There was a point where our firstborn was like 8 months. My hours were from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. And,
oh my God.
So it was like, and then juggling with the baby during the day and then Becca working during the day. So it was finding and seeing how we can kind of make this work because I saw what she was doing and these clients that were kind of coming in. So,
and remember we met at an agency.
That's true. Yeah.
So we met working together.
That's true.
So I think that's also in the back of my head. It was always, I had always respected and knew what he was capable of and like knew that we worked well together because we did in the past, even though it was a very different situation.
I come from a video production background. My background is film, commercials, music videos, video games, anything within that digital realm. So I was producing a commercial. She was art directing that commercial. That's how we met. And then that kind of kicked things into gear. And she took me out of Los Angeles. And that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. She has been the best thing that ever happened to me. And kind of jumping into this. Yeah. And going back to how I actually got into it at that point, maybe 3 years into the business or so.
You joined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a full-time job.
During COVID.
I went back into video production. It was 6-7 months into video COVID. And I had my full-time job remote. And she had a huge project. I started filling in. And then I brought my knowledge and expertise. And then from there, I looked at her and I had this kind of moment of like, if I want to come in full time, are you ready? And she was already on board. She was like already in the back of her mind. She was like, I would rather you be here and support this versus giving your time and effort into something else that you're not enjoying. So it was one of those moments. I'm like, but you got to be ready because it's not only work, it's not only family, it is 24/7 us and there's no separation.
So I'm a part of like a community, and it's so funny that I make the show that any like business that have a husband and wife together, they need a separate community to support them. because there's so much thing that going on with like husband and wife, and I'm being like glad that you guys like support together and works like smoothly. Everything is just wonderful to see too. It's just
for the most part.
It's a secret. Usually share that tip for other people too, but that's just wonderful. So the other question is, so if like you come back the first few months and really look at like behind the scenes, what was you think like something that critical for your business? Like if someone like start the business right now and they are thinking of growing a business, what do you think that the first couple of things is like critical for them, need to take care of?
I think that there's a few things that we've learned, I think, that are really important. One, I really believe this, and I think one of the reasons that we work so well together is because I believe in this kind of idea of do what you're really good at and then delegate out everything that you're not really good at or that you don't have time to do that, right? So I think there's always, I have seen firsthand with our clients, with our own agency, how a team, the right team can really bolster you and really take you to just new heights. And with the wrong team can completely derail you. And it doesn't mean go hire. You're starting out, go hire full time. Like, do not do that. But bring in people to help support you.
And it may mean that you kind of start small, right? And not try to provide everything for everyone. And starting with a small ask or a service and working your way from there, right? And then saying yes to everything after that. Right. I'm capable of doing that, even though you may not know how to, but being open to and being willing to take those things on and then kind of expanding from there. That's kind of how it started with us. Right. It was designing small little collateral items and then working its way to branding and web design. And, now that we have strategy and full development and copywriting and, it's become the agency that it is today.
Yeah. And I think especially in those early days, obviously our messaging has changed and who we target has changed. But I do think that one of the biggest reasons for people just coming to me and to Skye High was because it's funny, I had one line, the first headline on my website, the amount of people who would come to me and say, I'm reaching out because that headline on your website spoke to me. And this was like the first thing that I thought of when I was thinking about Skye High, creating Skye High and the website. And I thought of this. I remember I was sitting in our then office, which was just the kitchen. And I was like, powerful branding for powerful women, but that first word, branding, would change and be like powerful design for powerful women, powerful copy, powerful strategy, powerful ideas, whatever, right? And I really wanted to work with women. And a large part of that was because I had a young baby. And it's kind of like, we joke about this now, but I would be showing up to Zoom calls, breastfeeding my baby or she would be on my lap. And it was like, this is my reality. I'm still working. I can still do an amazing job on your project, but I have a baby. And what do you expect me to do?
There was that understanding between the women and supporting of women. And I think at that time too, it was like, I don't even know when the Me Too movement was going on, but it's like, there was this transition to picking this niche. And this is the clientele that we're working with. And then it kind of
and being super clear about that. Exactly. Yep. And so I think, really good advice for entrepreneurs starting out is make sure you know who your audience is. Don't try to appeal to everyone because then you're going to appeal to no one. Right. So be really clear who your audience is and what you offer. Make sure that is so crystal clear on your website. Because if it's not, I mean, like we do this for a business, obviously. And I say that to clients all the time. Like, if I don't know what you do after 3 seconds, like I'm leaving. I'm leaving your website, right? Like I don't want to think about it. Yeah. And I think that that's such a common mistake for entrepreneurs. They don't have the money to hire a big agency. So they DIY their own website and the communication, the messaging is all over the place. It's confusing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And they want to be like, well, I do this and I do this, but I do also do this. And you're like, but like you do 15 things But like,
what should I
do you
hire you
really
for?
do?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, it feels so.
So that just make me like think about like in terms of like branding. You think like what is one thing that people need to like nail it before move on with anything else? Like if they
For
hire you to be
yeah,
like doing their branding and web design, what is you think like one thing that will make it totally different that they need to nail it before like moving on to other thing?
as a brand, what's
Yeah.
like, I think to Becca's point, it's really clarifying your message and who
Mm.
you're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
Kind of that's our first service that we provide.
Yeah.
It's the strategy
Yeah.
and those kind of elements, those foundational elements of who is your audience, right?
Mm.
What's your voice? How are you talking to these people?
Mm.
What's the service that you're providing them?
Mm.
Do you know what their pain points are so you are offering the right service or
Mm.
offering,
Yeah. And it's so hard because look, I'm lucky in the sense that I'm, as a designer, I was able to design our own websites for my own website for my own brand, right? I think I've always designed our own website until we started using developers to actually create them, develop them. A lot of people don't have that luxury. A lot of people don't have a big budget. They're just starting out. And I would never recommend to an entrepreneur to put aside $30,000 and go and hire us or another agency at the same caliber. It doesn't make sense financially, right? It's not a responsible move. However, I also, going back to what I first said of like, play to your strengths. If you know that, okay, maybe your budget is $5,000 for a website, you can still find a great designer and developer for a $5,000 website. It doesn't have to be custom Webflow or WordPress. It can be Squarespace, or it can be Showit, or it can be a more kind of templated platform. It can be a smaller site, but marketing and how you come across, how presentable your brand and site is matters. It matters to people. And when you DIY it and think that you can just kind of create something and with no experience and no abilities,
which is most of the time the case,
which is most of the time, and that's going to attract your audience. Like, I hate to say it, it usually doesn't. And so you have to kind of, if you believe
it's the
in
investment in yourself, right?
Absolutely.
It's that investment, right? If someone is becoming a coach or, doing this thing where I'm going to pay for a course to learn more about XYZ, you're probably spending a couple of $1,000 just in that to learn and gain that knowledge or credentials or whatnot. But it's that investment too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think that this is budgeting for a reasonable like service in terms of branding is like very important for.
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to have clear messaging. You want to have a recognizable brand that's memorable. And it's all about clarity of what you're offering and attracting that audience.
So like way back in the day, like for you to like just start like and pitch into like the first big clients. So and you were still like smaller size. So how what made you like to make that jump that have like confidence and how can you did that? It's just like okay, just reach out, DM them, send a message. Or what was the thing that you take the action to be able to approach like a bigger size clients?
So I think what helps me is to remember that at the end of the day, you're just talking to other people who have goals and visions and dreams and try to connect with those people. I think that one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of go off on my own is because I really enjoy working with individuals. I don't really, when I was working at agencies, we would work on Adidas and Lego and big clients, but it was an entire kind of boardroom and it felt really impersonal and it felt really disconnected from the meaning of the work. And I just didn't enjoy that. It wasn't fulfilling me. And I felt like I felt like, oh, they have enough money. Like they don't need my help. They don't need, I'm not serving them.
Right.
Whereas working with entrepreneurs and working with other business owners who, and I decided this really early on, but just working with individuals who I felt really connected to them and their mission and who they were and what they were trying to build and create. I think that what that did is it subconsciously helped us create this bond. And so when you are pitching someone, I don't look at it as pitching. I look at it as I want to better understand you, and I want to better understand what you want to create.
It's
and
connection, right?
And if I'm the best fit. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I actually think that subconsciously, having my baby there was like an icebreaker. Sometimes you need these kind of icebreakers to remove tension and remind each other that at the end of the day, you're both moms, or you're both people, or there's some common ground that can connect you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you remember that, I think it really helps say, like, let's just be open and honest and transparent and talk to each other.
No, but I think I love the way that you talk about even all the big client like this. Behind the scene, they have something driven, the work that they do. And they also know their weakness in subconsciously, and the thing that they think the outside is not matching with the thing that they want to achieve it yet. And if you can trust that the subconscious mind, or whatever you meaning in that is make the connection, then that is where it is that you have them to serve their purpose, but also bring your talent to match with what they want. And I think that is such a skill to be able to do that.
It is.
It
is a big skill.
It is. No, because normally people overwhelming with big brand, big name, and they probably will not have a real conversation of okay, what is your actually struggle and challenge, and your hidden driving and purpose that you want to show up on the image of it, in the visual eye of it. And if I can connect it and make it happen, that's beautiful. I mean, you have a great skill.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of learning, right? A lot of kind of going through these, and like what she said in her experiences of just pitches after pitches, and kind of getting into this industry in and of itself, you gain these understandings of what's needed for the next person. And every time we work with a new client, we're always learning on how to better our process, how to better kind of pitch or present the way it needs to be for a successful brand.
So, I mean, if someone is listening into the podcast and they want to plan for next year to work with some bigger corporation or brand name or whatever it is, bigger client size compared to them, what is your advice to them? What they need to prepare?
If they want to work
with a bigger brand,
work with
take that next step of evolution of their brand.
Reach out.
Yeah.
What's holding you back?
Don't hesitate, right? And be persistent. Just because you reached out that one time and you didn't get a response back, 2 days later, hey, following up. 2 days later, hey, you gotta do it until they say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get that no.
Absolutely. And you'll never get something if you don't ask for it, I think is the first thing. But also, especially for creatives, if it is a creative or an agency and they have their sight set on this one brand or this kind of niche of brands, how can you gain more experience with other brands, maybe at a smaller scale, that are in that same niche? And then you can show that work to them. You can put it on your website. You can use it as case studies. It will give you more experience so you're more prepared. A lot of times, designers would come to me and Yoni and be like, I really want to work with you guys. Check out my portfolio. And then I look at their portfolio, and they're like, and I'm a web designer. And then we look at the portfolio and there's no web work, or there's 2 projects on there. And I'm like, well, is this all you've done? And they're like, you know, I either I have done more and I haven't put it on my portfolio. And it's like, well, this is supposed to be the reflection of you, right? And of the best work that you can do. Yeah. I think the really good advice that I received when I was really early on in my career was like, it's kind of the fake it till you make it. It's the like, practice designing, for kind of these conceptual brands if you don't yet have experience working with those brands. So redesign Nike's site and put that on your portfolio and label it conceptual and, you know, make a note that like this, you weren't paid to do this, but you go to portfolio sites like Behance and Dribbble and half of it is conceptual work. It's not actual work that they were commissioned to do, but it's work that they do to show
what they're capable of.
Prospective clients what they're capable of. And so you could be like, wow, they're really good designers. You know, that's the best way to practice.
It not only shows the capability of design, but your thought process and how you approach this and explaining like behind the scenes of here's how I got to this and why, right? So it does a lot of that. And I think being a designer, you have that like that kind of, I don't want to say flexibility, what's the right word here, but to be able to do that, to be able to present yourself that way. There aren't that many industries where you can kind of be able to provide examples like that and put yourself out there.
Like for example, I mean, like my accounting industry, most of the time it needs to be like your non-disclosures agreement. So there's a lot of confidential information. So it's actually very hard for us to like show the example, like a thought process or something like that.
Right, exactly. That you're a perfect example. It's like, how do you kind of do that? But there has to be, I think, bringing knowledge, right? Showing your understanding within that industry, how you can change someone's perspective
and where else can you market yourself? You know, I think that we originally found you on I Love Creatives, maybe. Right. So that's a great example of putting yourself out there. And I think when we were starting out, I put Skye High on like 5 different sites that were like, you know, I put on like, not like 99 designs, but like one of those, there was like one called Working, Not Working, one on LinkedIn. I put it's like, you really have to kind of shout it from the rooftops of like available for work. And I really believe in like, when you kind of put that out in the universe, it will come back. But you also,
I believe that too,
right?
And you believe the universe too.
Listen,
yes, it does.
Yoni, I just recognized that I actually really like Rebecca. She has a very common
excuse me, so I'm out of the picture now.
That's usually what happens.
Unbelievable. I'm leaving.
Okay, so like talk about like if you audit a website, but a company that have a potential like $5 million to $10 million in revenue. So what is like the first 3 things that you will check on their website?
To make them a $5 to $10 million?
No, they want you to like audit their current website and give them strategy and suggestion. So normally, what is the 3 main thing that you make sure that you need to check on?
Yeah. So the first thing is I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it really is as simple as in 5 seconds or less, can you tell me what this company does?
Yeah.
Right. Is it clear to me who they're talking to, what they can offer me, and how I can join? Those 3 things, right? Yeah. In 5 seconds or less. Yeah. Or 10 seconds if you're a slow reader.
But I think that's what it is. It's right. It's the above the fold. It's right immediately when you get on somebody's website.
Yeah.
Clear messaging.
I think those kind of 3 things, right? Is it clear who it's for? Is it clear what they offer? And is it clear how to sign up? I think that in and of itself is really important. As a designer, I'm also really looking at am I kind of overwhelmed by the design, or is it pulling me in? Is there too much to look at? I think it's so common, especially for non-designers who create websites, to think that more is better. And I need to add glitter here and an image here and an overlapping thing here and text right here. And you have to remember that people's attention spans are very short.
And only getting shorter.
And if you go to someone's website and you don't immediately know where to look, then that's not a good thing. It should be very clear where the kind of hierarchy is, right? Like I want them to look here first. I want them to click on this button.
It's like buy my book. That's my biggest goal right now. Buy my book. Go out there and that's it. Or I have this speaking engagement and I want you to So it's like
less is more, right? Less is more. And then in terms of design, less is more for sure. I would say, and then another test for me is I call it like my lean in when on a website. Like, does the website make me want to lean in and like know more about this person or this business or this brand, intrigue me? Or am I kind of like either, overwhelmed, confused, bored, hard to read. And then I'm like, definitely, the text is too small, or their font choices are like this really, difficult, script that's really illegible. You have to really simplify things and choose. And a lot of it is just really is good design practices that people don't know if they're not good designers. And so, but a lot of that is really what we do, but then what I'm also always thinking about when I go to someone's website and what everyone is subconsciously thinking about. I think even if people aren't like, oh, I would never put those two colors together. What people think is, ooh, I don't know if I want to work with this person. Something is not fitting right.
Yeah. Like your intuition, like feel something, but you don't know what it is, but it's create that feeling that you're not sure about. Like Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. This is wonderful. So the other thing I say, like, what do you think, like the biggest thing that will impact any people website or any brand website? What is the most impact in terms of revenue for them? Like if you create a website, you want to have more people like coming in and stay on the website and interested in to work with you or like to buy your products. So what is the thing that will like biggest impact in the revenue for them?
Yeah, I think that with an e-commerce brand, with a brand that is looking for conversions, I think that it's a couple things. It's like, I think that the user has to kind of go through this internal process of checking off all these internal, checklist of things. I think it has to check off, it's easy to buy, right? Based on what we said before. I think the user experience, it has to be, buttons need to be super clear by now. Like I always say, just be so clear with your language. You don't need to be like, click here and see what happens. It's like, don't make me guess. Don't make me like wonder what your buttons are going to do, right? Like just be buy now, learn more on whatever it is. I think that, so clear user experience is obviously primary. I think that the brand has to feel trustworthy. It has to come across like a brand that you will want to give your money to, that you can trust that when I pay for this thing, I'm either going to get it delivered. It's going to be the quality that I'm expecting, right? I'm not going to be like wondering if now my money is like lost in the ethernet, like, and never going to see this again. That's important. I think that for e-commerce brands, I do think that the way that to build trust is by a lot of times by being more less templated and more authentic to who they really are, right? Like telling their true story, telling why did they build this brand? What's the meaning behind the brand? What makes them different? Why should I care? Right? Like these are some of the questions that I think every brand really needs to think about. What sets them apart? And I think on the other side of that, what happens is then the user feels it's memorable. The brand is now more ownable.
You also
memorable.
get attached. You get a little bit more attached to their story, and right, you're starting to see a lot more of that now.
Yeah.
Where before it was like there was never an our story and about, and it's just the brand name and hip, cool, right? Well, now it's like when you kind of provide the story and how it came together, the type of quality, the type of fabric, what goes in it, where you're getting, it's like all this kind of helps build this brand, this trustworthiness of like, okay, I'd rather pay the extra money to go with this person. Because
So it's just so interesting when you talk about like how people feel like trust towards a brand that they never know before. So don't you think that is like the element of the story that they tell on the copyright, or is it like the design, or is this the colors of, or is this the fonts? All
a
of
little
it.
bit of everything, yeah.
All of it.
It all kind of comes together, right? Because if you just have the copy and then the photography, let's just say, doesn't match. Right. And it's like,
or they use like iPhone photos and you're like, oh, the quality, I can't see what they're looking at, or the quality doesn't, or if you have copy, but the design isn't good and it's just like a long block of copy, I don't want to sit there and read that. Right. So it's everything. It has to come together really well. And we always say that to our clients. It's not one thing. It's like all of these pieces need to work together. Yeah. And I also think that that's one of the reasons that we started doing wanting to control all these services. Because when I was starting out, what I would do is for some clients, I would design a website and then I would hand the designs over to the client and they would have it developed by someone overseas who would butcher my design. And I was like, I would never make it animate it like this, or like they ruined it. And then I'm such a control freak that it was like, I need to make sure that as a creative director, all the pieces kind of work together and come together to tell this story perfectly. Because if the development is off, then everything is off, right?
Yeah.
One thing's off.
I think it's so like a little bit like magical and abstract thing. That's how to make people like feel like trust without like anything logical to back it up at all. But people see it and they feel it. That's just magic of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's color psychology, right? There are certain colors that make you feel a certain way. And I think one of the things I learned as we got into branding and marketing myself, I did a lot of reading. It's like why, for example, McDonald's and Burger King and they use these specific colors, right? It almost makes you want to eat. It makes you hungry. And like green, anything that's has green involved in it, and I'm specifically for food. It's like this vegetarian, or it's like this
healthy.
Kind of healthy. And so you kind of dive deep into what these kind of colors mean and what it symbolizes.
And I think the same is true for fonts and for typography. And the same is true of your photography and how you shoot your photography. And are you shooting in a more lifestyle? Are you in a home? Or are you in studio lighting against a backdrop? Or are you outside? So we work with our clients through that whole process because it's all so important. But it didn't happen overnight. It's also because the early days, we weren't art directing photo shoots and working with our clients through photo shoots. And I've had clients literally hand me iPhone photos that her sister took on a camera that she had just bought for fun and was like, here, Becca, how are these photos? And I was like, oh my God. And so you have to go through it all to like really understand what needs to happen and what works.
Okay, so now like if you think like scaling the team and the company and growing your business, your agency, do you think what is the most challenging for you?
Most challenging thing as we've kind of grown this agency.
Yeah. at this stage between like, of course, I need to take care like 3 kids.
I think the biggest challenge for us is really narrowing down what to put our time and energy into as like our separately from Skye High, right? Like I think that our business runs really well. We've definitely gotten it down to like kind of a science. It's we're still very much full time with Skye High, but I also think that we both have a lot of ideas and other things that we want to pursue, and what comes next, like what is the thing that we are going to do, and then
it's that entrepreneurial in us, right? At the end of the day, yes, we have this successful business. Yes, we've grown it to be what it is today, and can we continue to scale it further, or is this where we are now, and what is next? What is this next venture? What, it's that's, I think that is for sure challenging.
It's like Yoni want to become a chef.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Or run a restaurant.
But even that, it's like, we've definitely talked about in that space, not a restaurant, but like there's so many other ideas that we can pursue that we've been toying with for a long time. And I think we're realistic enough that we know that the summer when the kids are home is not the time for us to stretch ourselves and start thinking about another business plan. And I kept saying to Yoni mostly, like, wait until the kids are in school and we get our days back for the most part. And, we're still really busy with Skye High, but I think that at least it gives us a little bit more breathing room to start ideating.
Yeah, like structure of your time, because you know that by this time and this time they gone to school. So you have a focused time over there. It's not like they're running around you. So
exactly.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, this past summer was a bigger summer for us in transitioning and busy. So it was a bit of juggling of everything with the kids, with work, and moving across country. So it's definitely tough. But those are the moments where you have these ideas, right? And it's like when you sit down and you're like, oh, but I think we can go this direction. And Becca usually shoots me down.
Yeah.
But I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
I'm more the realist, but I'm also a dreamer.
That's interesting, Rebecca. Like normally the people who creative, they less like realistic and practical. But like you like do both.
I am more of a visionary in the business, but he is more of a dreamer outside the business.
Oh, that's interesting.
He's more thinking about like, ooh, what if we do this? That's like totally unrelated. And I'm like, okay, wait, maybe. But it's...
Can we?
Can we?
One day.
So we're always playing. We're always open to different ventures and ideas. And
still open.
Yeah. Oh my God, we all like just all young. So you have enough time to like try many things as much as you want to.
Yes.
And then who knows? Like you
never know.
Yeah, you never know. So the other thing is, if you do like review for the works and branding, how do you know when is the good enough to send to client? Because we all perfect and we want to change and update and add this like 10 revision of this or something. So how do you know that this is like good enough to send it out to clients?
It's funny, we don't agree on this because this sounds so like this is probably not helpful advice or an answer, but I just get a feeling when I just feel it that like this is it. I'm happy with this. But the funny thing is that I am the creative, but it's taken many years. But now we're at a point where I do really value his opinion. And in the beginning and early days, I would be like, this is it. I'm good with it. I'm going to send it to the client. ship it off, right? I'll send that email. And then now I'll be like, Yoni, what do you think about this? And then he points out things that
she may not see or she overlooks because she's been looking at it for such a long period of time, that having other eyes. And for me, it's been a big change in understanding, and my eyes see different things and different views. So it's always, I think when she started appreciating me and my thoughts, which is big.
That's beautiful.
Yes. And that's when I started feeling really good about myself and more confident. But it was one of those situations where I was like, why don't you try doing this? And we show a different version this way. And that version was the one that ended up getting picked. And then that's when she kind of was like, okay, you know what? Let's kind of see how this works. And it's been
like, compliment each others in this in the way.
Yeah, and that's how it's always been, right? I never tried to. I was never the one trying to step on her feet, telling her what to do. I was always on the other side, supporting and making sure that the areas that she's not taking care of is where I take care of. So that's kind of how we complement each other. She has that vision. She is that creator and creative director, while I am the producer, the production manager, the oversight of operations, the finances. It's more like I take care of 80% of the stuff.
But too, he kind of puts the client hat on when he's reviewing as well, and that's super helpful because I can get so lost in the creative, and whereas he's thinking about, okay, well, on this call, they also mentioned that they might be wanting to include this. You should probably include this in the design, or just thinking from a different perspective, having that other kind of, I don't know. I definitely think it helps. I feel like we will then always agree when it's time to send to the client. Like when it's time, I feel like it's when both of us say, this is good. That's it, right? It has to get kind of both approval now.
Yeah. So you still like very active, like involved with the whole process of it. It's like you're not like hand up to your team member to do it.
We thought about that. We thought, and I think we definitely thought about kind of taking this step back, hiring project managers to oversee and talk to the clients, and having other designers speak to the clients directly. And ultimately, a lot of the reasons why clients come to work with us is because of her and now me a little bit.
Yes, it's both of us. My God.
But it is us, right? It is why we are the face, and we want to be that, right? We want to have this hand-holding with the client, because we felt that before when we've worked with other agencies, whether it's social media or whatever, where we get handed off and then we're just kind of like left in the dust here and have these questions. They're not answering it. What's going on? There is this kind of relationship that we create with our clients that this isn't it. We become friends, and we kind of create this connection where we really kind of feel
trust, and they know that we are honest with them. They know that they can be vulnerable with us. Like it's definitely a deeper relationship than a lot of kind of transactions. It's not, we don't look at it as a, they pay for something, we disappear and then we do it. And here's, it's much more kind of personal and deep than that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not the best thing for certain businesses that are trying to get to a certain echelon, but I think with our values and what we want to present and hold, that's why our business, I think, is successful how it is.
Yeah, but I mean, like for the expertise in the field, like creative, maybe that just come with like your experience built over time too. Whereas it's like if you transform someone else, they may not have that huge effect on it. I think so. They don't have the same eyes and intuitions, feeling by the way that you do. So maybe I think it's hard. It's actually very hard. I don't know a lot about like big agency at all. I don't know how they actually can train like the giants of team, like hundred of people to do the same way in the process at all. But that's just such a hard thing to do.
It is. It is. And when you go in through an agency, you're talking to so many different people. It's like an account manager and then their assistant, and then it's the creative director, and then another director, and then it's the producer, and then it's, depending on how involved you're getting with that brand. But, while we have a team that supports us, everything comes through us. We're quick to reply. Things don't get delayed because we have that information. And as you see, we're on my computer, and behind it's Becca's computer. We're that close, and we're in constant communication. And that's a huge, huge thing for us.
Yeah. But do you think that that's also come with the thing that you will be more selective in terms of client that you want to work with?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We are very selective.
Yeah.
And that's a luxury that we didn't always get. But again, just like everything else, I think that we've taken our fair share of kind of misfit clients that don't fit right and that weren't a good fit with us, and learned that
it was hard. It was hard for the first time to actually come to an agreement and say, we have to let this client go. And it was our decision versus the client letting us go. Right. Most of the time that's the case, because as an agency, you want to feed. Yes, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do this. You want it for free. Whatever you need to do to get this work. But for us, to her point, we had the luxury of being able to say, you know what, we're just not a good fit. And at this point, the money it's not worth it.
Yeah. Our mental health, I think, is way more important. And it's also what we've realized is that it will affect the work. If the partnership is not good, then the work will suffer as a result. Yeah. So it's not worth it. Better off with someone else. But at any given time, we still have, we have 10 to 12 clients. And that's a collection of a mix of kind of some that are just starting out, some that we've been working with for years, and they're more kind of retainer, consistent work, some that are in different phases of the project. So it's like, everyone gets special attention and hand-holding and support, but it's all it looks different kind of depending on where they're at.
Okay, so then if you think back about your day one, what is one of the advice that you want to give to your day ones that they need to remember when they just start the business?
I do honestly think that it's so easy to stand in your own way. I think that one of the reasons that we are so as successful as we are is because I have always had this kind of confidence in myself, in my work, in my abilities. And even though I'm self-taught, right? I think it was because I've always been harder working than a lot of people around me, that to say I can do this faster than the guy next to you can, so you should hire me. And now it's not just about being fast, right? I've learned that's not the best thing, but you have to be hungry for it. You have to work overtime. You have to put in those hours, and you have to really hustle, because if you're not willing to, then if you're not hungry for it, and if you're not passionate about it, and if you don't want it, then why do I want to work with you? Why do I want to hire you? Right? I need to see that as a potential client hiring you. And I think another thing that kind of we touched upon too, if you're in a service business, I think that you do not underestimate how important customer service is. And it's like my dad always used to say with a job, I had so many different jobs growing up, and he was like, 90% of it is just showing up, just show up on time, and half of the people won't even show up. Right. And as an adult and as a business owner, it's shocking to me how many people do not respond to emails, how many people do not respond with a proposal when they said they would. And I get it on one side. I get it as a struggling freelancer. I struggled to stay on top of all the roles. And that's one of the reasons that Yoni really helped, was because it was hard enough for me just to be the creative. And then I also had to send proposals, and then I also had to send invoices, and I had to be a project manager, and that it was overwhelming. And so I get it on some level, but you will lose business if you do not show up for your clients and it just follow through, right? Follow up goes a long way. So that would be that. I think that's always advice that I would give.
Yeah. I mean, like the ability to like make everything fit into your schedule to do multiple things is a unique skill. Because I think when you work for an agency, your work is just specific in one part. You work for big corporation, it's just one part. But now you like basically like multiple departments at once. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's
a
hard.
lot. It's a lot.
So I think my last question is this: growing an agency and like raising the families and how to like need to struggle and balance everything at once. Do you believe in like a balancing time, or it's like work-life balance? And what is your advice, I believe, that make you think that is the key thing to successful as an entrepreneur and also like raising your own family too?
I know that communication for us has been such a key factor, especially because we work together and we raise a family together. Finding that balance between the two can be difficult sometimes, especially different stages of where we are with clients and projects and things like that. But when we allow ourselves to say, hey, this is where I'm at and I need more time here, we find a way to balance that out. So we have gotten better, I think, for that work-life balance, what that looks like, because work is so enveloped into our day-to-day. It's hard to shut it off.
Yeah.
But we definitely find ways to kind of get around that. And
I think right. Like we did actually, we have a Substack, and we did a whole thing on boundaries in the Substack because that was a really important topic that I am such a workaholic that for a long time, it would be really difficult for me to close the computer at night and be able to walk away. And he really helped me with that, to be like, this is not serving you. This is not, you're not doing your best work. Like the kids need you. We need you to be present. It's like I needed a partner to say those things, because otherwise I would not have actually stopped. And
it's not necessarily for the pressure of the work. It's a lot of it is because of her enjoyment of the work, right? Because she enjoys doing it, it's so easy to get so lost and enveloped into that, right? And not be able to kind of.
Yeah,
it is both. It's the pressure. Sometimes I feel really anxious or stressed about like knowing how much is on my plate, and I can't go to sleep until I get something done. But that's, again, communication. Talk to Yoni and he'll be like, what do we need to do? Let's make a list of all the priorities for the next day, right? So I think having a partner who you can really lean on, and not just in times of stress, but also I think that we both kind of straddle all the roles. There's no real like, you do XYZ, I do this. It's like it's a teamwork. And I think for somebody who has a partner who is not available or not able to kind of be that real partner for them, then I would say, is there somebody else that you can rely on, whether it's a family member or a nanny or somebody that you can really use to help you? Because I will say I don't think that it's possible to be a mother or a parent of young children and an entrepreneur and have a career. I just don't think that you can do both unless your kids are being babysat by the TV. It takes a village is like, I do think that be okay with relying on other people for support. I rely on Yoni. I have that. I'm lucky to have that. A lot of women don't have that. They don't have their partners to rely on. So it's figuring out a way that you can get the support that you need, so you can also pursue your own dreams.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's I mean, like the way that you guys can work together and support in real life is beautiful. I mean, and it's lucky to see it too, because I don't think like many people would have all of that at once. At all, like who can understand like how hard it is to in the entrepreneurship, and also like raise the kids and try to make everything fit into the schedule. So and then can go to sleep and look like a human being. That's just that's just a blessing for you both in that way too.
Yeah, yeah, and
Thank you.
it's it takes a lot, and I think the understanding between the both of us, we have to be able to get to that point.
Yeah. So I think that is a good one. And I love that the episode like this is because we're not just speaking on the mountaintop, but we are talking about it while we are working on it. So many of you like in the journey is building the business and entrepreneurs and also like building the family. I hope that this episode like give you the real feedback and practical tips so that you understand that you don't need to become a 5 million, 10 million revenue company or agency to be able to start working with like dream client. You can work both in the same way, but it just require a lot of hard work, resilience, and the confidence on yourself, your works, and the customer relationship, and build the people around you to support and go through the journey with you. So I hope that you enjoyed the episode and go follow them, check their website, their social media is on the show note. And if this episode you like it, you send it to your friends who building the business and need a reminder that scaling is not like one small magical thing, but this is like a series of smart and intentional steps to make things happen. So thank you so much for your listening, and I will see you in next week. Bye bye.